Hello and welcome to a live Deprogram with Keri Smith. I'm your host, Keri. Thank you to the folks who got here on time, and I appreciate you. If you're still around, I apologize for being so incredibly late today. We have a special guest, one of my best friends in the world, Mr. Mike Harlow, is going to be joining us very shortly. I just want to go ahead and get started since the reason we're late is my fault. It's not Mr. Harlow's fault. Tiger had a grooming appointment this morning and they took 2 hours, which never happens. They usually take like 30 minutes. He's not a froofy dog. He doesn't need a lot of froofiness, but I guess they had a lot of dogs on the list in front of him. So anyway, here we are. We're late because of Tiger's grooming appointment. I just want to show you this because it relates to our topic today. And I'm hopefully he'll be here in a second because I want to hear what he has to say about this, Mr. Harlow. But I'm going to put it on the screen now. This is while I was waiting at Petco. No, sorry, I get them confused. Let me be specific. This is PetSmart. In Georgetown, Texas, and they got their Pride display up. So it's a whole end cap here. Actually, it even extends around the other side of this. And it's Show Your Pride with a dog and a cat and rainbow gear and all kinds of corporate PetSmart dog accoutrement for your pets. And it's just all decked out. It's not even June yet. This is what is today, May 10th. So they're getting in early. Corporate pandering month is just around the corner. PetSmart is getting there first. And I just, for dogs, yes, Cantor, for dogs. This is just ridiculous. There's a fun game you can play. I said this on Twitter. There's a fun game you can play. Think of any corporation, the more specific their market, the better. Think of any corporation and then look like Office Depot and then look up Pride Month and see if they pander. They do. Office Depot panders. Office Depot's about pride. Staples, yes, they pander. The Cheesecake Factory, their specialties, cheesecakes. Do they pander? Yes, they all do. Let me take this off for a second. I want to welcome one of my very best friends and someone who we haven't heard from in a while on Deprogrammed. And I'm very excited to have him back here today. He's a speaker, he is a comedian, he's a writer, and he's an all-around just genuine human being. He's been associated with Gays Against Groomers. We're going to talk a little bit about that organization today, WalkAway, and you may know him from his YouTube channel. Please welcome Mr. Mike Harlow. Hello, Mike.
Hey! That was the best intro. You're the greatest.
You're the greatest. Thank you, first of all, for being patient with me. I just told the chat, I'm sorry, we're late because of Tiger's grooming appointment, which went very long.
There must have been some alphabet people taking their sweet time grooming him.
With some alphabet. Look at this. This is what was at PetSmart today. Look at this.
It's funny. I'm dog sitting my friend's dog right now. I'm like, imagine if he comes home and it's just covered with rainbow stuff. Also, hi, chat. I missed you guys.
Hey, oh my goodness. I thought, well, I saw this while I was there waiting. I said, well, this applies to what we're talking about today. Today's topic is the gays are getting sick of your woke shit.
Even the dogs aren't safe from this.
Even the dogs and cats aren't safe. I want to show you one other quick thing. James Lindsay retweeted this, and he said, I don't think there are any gay dogs who need representation. I know there are no queer dogs. Queer is a political ideology, not an identity. I'm going to ask you about that, but first, I want
to... in my experience, dogs will just go up and hump whoever. Kind of like me.
Well, James, you may remember he and Helen Pluckrose and Peter Boghossian, when they spoofed a lot of woke academic papers and actually got them published in peer-reviewed journals. One of their papers was about homophobia at dog parks. Do you remember that?
And it's all become true. Everything they said in those hoax papers, it has all become true.
It's all come true. I just wanted to show you my little response to him. I was like, James, they're all Barksists and Meowists.
Just like Tiger.
Just like Tiger. Tiger's a former Barksist.
Like you.
Yeah, Dion's here. Queen of quotes. She says, dog park rape culture. Yeah, that was the subject of their ridiculous paper that got published in peer-reviewed journals.
These people are out of their tree. By the way, I'm just staring at your background. It's so beautiful. We have been together through so many backgrounds of yours, and this is my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
It's a studio, not a background. But
you haven't been here since we finished the studio. Yeah, my husband and I spent 10 weeks on this room, not counting the time it took for him and our friend David to remove the fireplace that used to be back here. So yeah, this was
so beautiful.
A work. It was a long labor of love. Let me just take these boots off so we can get into it. Okay.
You know, Keri means business when the boots come off.
I'm taking the boots off. Okay, Mr. Mike Harlow, let's start here. Since James had that point, kind of that joke, but he's also, there's seriousness there. He said, I don't know if there are any gay dogs, but I know there's no queer dogs. Can you tell me what's the difference between gay and queer?
Mental illness, living in reality, so many things. No, it's exactly what he said. Queer is a political ideology, and it just shows how brainwashed so many people on the left are, especially gay people, that if you look at the definition of the word queer, it is every meaning of things, that every single thing that gay people have tried to convince society for decades, since the dawn of time, that we are not. Just look up the definition: abnormal, sick, strange, unusual. And it just shows what abusers the left are too. Because I was watching, which, by the way, I love the hunger strikes for Palestine. It's these fat broads. Oh, I'm not going to eat. But they're all choosing not to eat while saying, it's your fault that I'm starving. And that's what this is too, is that people are so brainwashed that they don't realize the abusive relationship that they're in with the left. Because imagine it's under any other circumstances, trying to tell a gay person that your sexual orientation makes you strange, unusual, sick, abnormal. They would kind of be considered a bigot, right? But this is the genius, I guess, of the left, that they have just gotten everyone to start saying this about themselves. And people like me who will say, screw you, I'm not queer. We're suddenly problematic.
How big is the Gays for Reality movement, would you say? Let's call it Gays for Reality.
Can that be the official name now?
Yes.
I like that. It's a lot more than you would think just in the 2020 election. It's not like they're all Republicans or all conservatives, but if you just consider it only the ones who voted for Trump, it's basically 1 in 3 gay people. Something like 30% of gay people voted for Trump. And wow. I mean, that is a higher percentage of gay people than any minority group is a percentage of America. Because if you think about it, Black people are like 12% of the population. Jews are what? 3 or 4, whereas 30% of gay people are voting Republican in the last election.
It's amazing. And it's
going to be more this time.
So one of the things I find, I don't know, you probably encounter this too, but when I talk to normies, let's call it like people who are not online as much as we are, and when I talk to people out in the world who are sort of casually woke, they're sort of like woke adjacent, but they're not super passionate. They're not online. They're not at the protests or whatever, but they will say woke stuff. They've picked it up. They've picked up the lingo. A lot of those people seem to be totally unaware of organizations like Gays Against Groomers. They don't know this exists. They think all gay people are a monolith and they're all woke, and that woke speaks for gay. Do you encounter those people?
Yeah, and it's sort of the ones who will be offended on your behalf and tell you what you need to think and how you need to feel. Even like I said, when it's against your own interest, because I mean, I've been saying this would happen for years, and I think now we're really starting to see the full backlash towards gay people, towards all sorts of alphabet people, and I get it completely. So it's like they're telling you that you have to think these things when these are the exact things that are forcing you to not be accepted by larger society.
Mm-hmm. Can we have a couple of clips queued up. I'd like to start with one of you. Let me get this one up.
Oh no. Me ranting like a lunatic, probably.
Well, since you mentioned the people who like to speak on your behalf, I think this is a good one to start with. Now, I'm in this clip looking very concerned.
I know what this is going to be.
Let me see. Hold on. Okay.
One sec. Let me just close the curtain. This light is bothering me.
Go right ahead. I've got it. This is a YouTube short, and it's always weird getting these queued up at the right place. Okay, here we go. So this was when one of the times that Mike Harlow and I got to we were out with Billboard Chris, and this was at New York. Yeah, I love him. We were out at New York Pride, and he gave us all billboards to wear, and we were there saying, hey, children cannot consent to, sterilizing puberty blockers and hormones and surgeries. And there was this one guy who started screaming at you. And
bad idea, buddy. I can yell louder. I promise you.
This guy started screaming at you. And I was so concerned because he was so angry. And I just wanted him to be like, calm down, dude. Like, he was so angry. There was a group of angry people. And turns out this guy's straight, by the way, at Gay Pride, yelling at you, a gay man. And so let's just, without further ado, let me just add this.
By the way, a friend of mine was talking to me about this clip, and they were like, oh, Keri looked so concerned for you. I was like, no, I think Keri was concerned for him.
I was concerned for him. I just wanted him to see, like, we're not here with hatred for you. Like, and then as he continued, then we found out he wasn't even gay. Here we go. You guys can find this on this short is called Lib Dude versus Based Gay. Straight lib bro. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute.
That was not one of my better hair looks.
And I have no hate for other people. You wake up every day and hate people. How do you have energy for this?
No one hates anyone. I'm a gay man, and I don't want you people speaking for me, cutting up fucking children. At what age does a little girl have the right to a double mastectomy? You don't fucking speak for me. You straight liberals, you don't control shit.
I'm a straight white guy.
Your face caught in the middle of the Italian hands going.
The Italian
Keri has been stuck so many times in the middle of the hands going a mile a minute.
Like I'm a gay man, and you don't speak for me.
That was great. That was a great day, let me tell you.
But his face, when you said, I'm gay, his face was like,
because no, I was talking about this with somebody last night who was being called a fascist and a racist by somebody I call them Hamas hoes. These people who think Palestine and fundamentalist Islam is suddenly their best friend. And I just told him, I was like, you can talk logic until you're blue in the face. You are not going to burst through the bubble of social pressure. That is the religion of these people, social pressure. It's all they care about. This is the current thing. And you're not going to break through them wanting to sit at the good people table. So just yell at them and mock them and ridicule them.
They incorrectly believe that it makes them a good person to get out there in the streets, not really being able to articulate why they're out there, and to get out there and to wave all the symbols and all the signs of whatever the woke cult tells them is the new thing. Okay, so now it's Palestine, and now they're all, and so that's why you see these really incongruent displays of like queers for Palestine, gays for Palestine. Can I play you? Actually, before I play this clip, I just want to thank a couple people. Thomas N., a member for 11 months. Hey, Thomas. He said, it started as a joke, and it sort of just got out of hand. Are you talking about Queers for Palestine or?
You somehow never see Palestine for Queers. Why?
Where's that organization? Hey, Tracy from Keto and Crime.
Tracy! I love her.
Thank you for the super chat, lady. For $2, she says, 2 of my favorite people.
Aww.
We feel the same.
Yeah,
Good
we
to see
do.
you.
We got to do another one. We did a true crime show.
Oh, yeah. She and I are getting ready to do a true crime show soon. I'm very excited on her channel. So, also from Tracy from Keto and Crime for $20. Thank you, Tracy. Says, I am for a new group, gays, including us lesbians. We are just gay women. We do not need another name. Gays and bisexuals, along with actual transgenders to the right. All the other alphabets to the left, and stay away from me.
I am in that group. Put me down as a member.
Tracy Bass, by the way, famously has, she has the Confederate flag from Dukes of Hazzard, but it's rainbow colored Confederate flag, which I'm sure just blows people's minds. Like, what does that mean? Tracy,
oh, I love it. No, it's funny that when you were saying that we were there with Billboard Chris saying how children cannot consent to hormones and puberty blockers, does it ever blow your mind the things that are even up for discussion nowadays? Because Keri and I have been friends a long, long time. And when we both started speaking up and talking about things, don't you feel like the issues were so quaint back then compared to what they are now? Back then it was like, ooh, comedians being able to perform in colleges. And now it's like, if the government can put you under house arrest and force medicate you and shut down your business and giving double mastectomies to 12-year-olds and brainwashing children.
You're absolutely right. It's like they went whole hog. They went absolutely insane.
And I think the reason we started speaking up is because we saw the line that could be drawn from one to the other. Yes. And we're there now.
And it's going to keep going. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. The queer theory, by the way, I should mention for anyone, I'll mention this again at the end, but anyone who wants to know, we rescheduled book club. I apologize. May was a little out of control for me with Minds Fest and a few other things. So we're pushing it. We're going to give everybody time to read the book. We're doing this May 30th, the end of the month. This is the book by Logan Lansing and James Lindsay, The Queering of the American Child. Subtitle, How a New School Religious Cult Poisons the Minds and Bodies of Normal Kids. We're going to be discussing that on Thursday, May 30th. And you have time to read it. So I hope you will. I hope you'll join us. One of the things that they point out in this book, and other people have been pointing out as well about queer theory. If you look at queer theory, one of the specific goals of queer theory is to eliminate, to destroy all traditional norms. Queer theory says that all norms of a society are inherently oppressive because they're only norms because the oppressive groups have made them norms. They shouldn't be norms. And so they view it as inherently oppressive. And one of those norms, I'm not kidding, this is in queer theory, is they say that that our society is oppressive towards children, that we should treat children as full humans, meaning, and they say this, to get rid of all prohibitions about things that we do in our law to protect children, because children are not developmentally the same as adults. And so under law, we don't allow children to have sex with adults, to have, buy a gun, to drink, to smoke, to drive a car. Queer theory says, why not allow them to do these things? And you can see where this is going. They're pushing it right now with the surgeries and hormones, but queer theory would like for us to get to a place where there's no protections for children when it comes to things like child sexual abuse. And I just wonder if you and I are going to be having another one of these talks, as you mentioned, that so many things have gotten crazy. In 7 years, are we going to be having a talk about things getting even crazier than they are now? Maybe.
I hope not. I feel like that's isn't that the reason we do what we do, in hopes that we won't need to be still saying this years from now? Right. It is my goal in life to never have to talk about any of this shit ever again. I would love it so much to be put out of business, for things to just change and it just doesn't exist anymore. And I can I could just go back to ranting about like Sex in the City.
Yeah, you and me both. If woke win, I think woke will die. I just don't know if it's going to happen during our lifetime. But if it dies during our lifetime, then I just want to run an antique store.
Yes.
I'll maybe do a podcast about cowboy boots and true crime and antiques.
Oh, put me down for that podcast. No, I don't think woke will die. I think it will rebrand itself. I think it will become so toxic that they'll remarket it as something else. It'll be New Coke.
Yes. They're already trying to get away from the term woke. They're like, what does it mean? You can't define it.
We can.
Yeah. How do you define it?
Well, I was just talking about, woke in general. I feel like there are many components of it. What I think is sort of the worst of it. It ranks human. It strips a person of the individual, of any individuality. It classifies human beings by their identity and then ranks them in a hierarchy based on that identity. And that determines how you can treat people. I was just arguing with somebody the other day that was talking about woke media, woke film, woke entertainment, and they were like, you can't define it. I'm like, I'll define it in 2 seconds. Woke film replaces character with identity and story with ideology.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yes. Oh my gosh. There's something I always like, a lot of times identity is just a substitute for people that don't have character.
Yes.
Or they
Yes.
They don't have a personality. So then they just put all these identity markers in there. I'm in this identity group, and this identity group is like, you don't have a personality. That's why you got to give me this whole litany of like, I'm white and I'm cis and I'm this and I'm a woman. And
it's so funny too, because all of my favorite movie characters of all time for some reason are women from the pre-woke era. And it's so fun. Like, you could watch Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and you will not see one word about she's a woman,
Yeah.
But now it's only about them being women. And ironically enough, these woke, strong women characters are less female than any female characters ever written. They just write them like they're men. They have no character traits other than just being stoic and emotionless, and they're boring.
And sexually promiscuous.
Mm-hmm.
And completely Mary Sue's, right? Like inexplicably just stronger than men and can do everything great. And they don't have a character arc. And oh man. Thank you.
None.
Give it up for one of our mods, Pirate Tomsky.
Hey, Pirate Tom.
Pirate Tomsky says, Keri, you need to open a hat store, Keri. Thank you, Pirate. I'll definitely have hats in my look. Even if woke doesn't die in my lifetime, it is still a goal of mine to open an antique shop. Adam says Keri's old curiosity shop. Yeah, it's going to be called something like that for sure. Thank you for that, Pirate. Okay, I've got another clip I want to show you guys and get your comments on it as well. Let's see. I want you to tell people what you think about this one.
Oh boy, I'm scared.
Oh, this one I think you're going to like. Okay. This is Douglas Murray in an interview talking about Gays for Gaza. Here we go.
Daddy-based gay. He is the OG.
He's the OG based gay.
Mm-hmm.
Gaza will get on long term. Well, the joke at the moment is that there aren't enough tall buildings in Gaza to throw Gays for Gaza off. But
uncomfortable.
These people are, I've said very often, they're part of the same phenomenon as turkeys for Christmas and chickens for KFC. I'm fed up with these fringe idiot cases. They're so mentally defective, these people, and incredibly narcissistic. I can be queer and also celebrate Palestine. No, you fucking can't.
I love him.
I can both argue for a two-state solution and also celebrate queerness and also not let myself down. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't do all those things. At some point, you've got to choose. I've got a video to show you. Let me show you this video.
Can someone please explain to me what this means? What does reproductive justice mean? Free Palestine. What does that even mean? Like, what does it mean? I'm not pretty sure. Abortions are illegal in Palestine unless it's like, a super medical emergency and the mother will die. From what I understand, actually a lot of Palestinians have to go to Israel to get the abortions they want. So what does this mean?
Yeah.
What? It's such a huge sign.
Keri, I think we should
5 people holding this thing. It's massive.
We should blow their minds and like Jedi mind trick these people to march for abortion rights in Palestine and force them to choose. Their heads will explode.
They won't take the
Or they'll explode once the Palestinians see it.
Oh, dark comedy. Oh, it's just absurd. This was funny, by the way. This was like a Inception. We were watching a clip.
Yeah.
But it's absurd. What does it mean? What does reproductive justice and queer stand for Palestine? Like these people, what percentage of the people that get out in the streets at these leftist protests, what percentage of them do you think are capable of articulating their reasons for being out there?
0.
It's close to 0, isn't it?
Maybe you'll get 1 or 2 who they'll just be wrong. But that's the interesting thing about the left's intersectionality is that all of these groups have conflicting interests. So they're grouped together by social pressure in terms of the people who support it, who just want to be part of the current thing, who want to sit at the good people's table, but they don't know what they're saying. For example, the left pushes black stuff, racial justice, and all of that at the same time that they flood inner cities with illegal aliens. That's not in their best interest. So at some point in this identity-based hierarchy, you're going to have to choose. And they never will because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yes. It's kind of like oh gosh, remember that trans woman? I put that in quotes because this guy's just a sociopath who claims to be trans. Jessica Yaniv.
The Trans Hall of Fame.
Remember when Jessica Yaniv, this guy was suing these Sikh and Muslim women who refused to wax his balls and was suing them for discrimination. And the woke people said nothing because they didn't know who to choose. They're like, oh, which one's more oppressed? Brown, non-Christian woman or trans woman? We don't know. And so they're silent because the only way their ideology just says like, you have to figure out which group is most oppressed. And then if an individual can check off that box, then you support that individual. But when you've got 2 and they don't know how it's weighted on the oppression stock market today, like then they're like, oh, we don't have an opinion on individual rights and whether the government should force you to provide services for people or not. We can't, because we don't have principles. We just have an ideology based on identity groups.
It's so funny. I saw somebody say the other day that the left's anti-white rhetoric became so widespread that it swallowed Jews. And it's so true.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. I've always said the left can't stand Jews and they can't stand Asians because they completely disprove their ideology. Yes. That Asians were put in camps, Jews were put in camps, all a hell of a lot more recently than slavery. And they're 2 of the best performing groups in the country. Why is that? If you're just held back generationally by a past wrong, it disproves their entire narrative. So they can't have that.
When they want to discriminate against Asians and Jewish people and treat them like crap, they call them white adjacent. Right. But then when they want to use them and treat them instead of like an oppressor group, which they do sometimes, when they want to use them and treat them like an oppressed group, then they do that too. Stop Asian hate, right? Like they'll
until they saw who was hating Asians. They shut that down real fast.
I've got a super chat here from Justin Akinsola for $9.99. Thank you, Justin. He says, Muslim countries make the far right look like happy grandpas who say racist stuff from time to time.
Which they kind of are anyway, I feel like.
And most of the time in jest. Yeah. Look, I've got another clip for you. Now, this is one that you sent me, and I saw this making the rounds. I think this is hilarious. I want to hear what you think about it. Okay, hold on. I think I have to make this a little bit smaller so it fits on the screen. This is some stupid new music group.
No.
What?
No. I know what's coming.
Now, this is supposedly a punk group. Punk.
I'm bracing myself for the cringe.
We're punk. This is what punk is about. Okay, here we go. Let's look at what punk is. Punk.
Put a bullet in a kid's head, think they got a sickness and they're not dressed up straight. But what happens in the closet doesn't matter if you profit from the flag of the USA.
He just wanted an excuse to dress up like this.
What?
He just wanted an excuse to dress up like this. He's a little too comfortable in that gown.
Yes. And he's got the middle finger. I'm flipping you off.
Take that, society.
And then up here at the top, they've got a little, look at this part. So they added some text up at the top. It says, we wrote and named this song after one of the governors of Tennessee at a time when the state tried to ban drag shows. By the way, false. I hate it when they just repeat lies and then it filters down to the normies who just repeat lies, who have no idea that they're saying lies.
The bitch can't even spell governor, and he's trying to lecture us about domestic policy.
You can't even spell governor.
Twat. Oh, this no. This makes me mad because they have taken so much from us. They took Star Wars from us. They took gay people from us. They took the English language from us. They will not take punk from us. There is nothing punk about repeating the talking points of every celebrity and every corporation and every blue state Democrat.
There's nothing punk about going with the status quo, which is what they're all doing now. They're going, and here's the thing. This again is a lie. It's a piece of propaganda. I just want to make this clear for any normies watching. If you don't know this, Tennessee did not try to ban drag shows. Neither did Texas. What they did is say drag shows are not appropriate for children, that children should not be allowed at any sexually inappropriate show, be it any kind of strip show. It wasn't just about drag either, but drag was included. Yes. Get your facts straight. You can still go, if you're an adult, go to any drag show you want to go to. Quit lying. You shouldn't have to lie to make your point. If you have to lie to try and bamboozle people, then you don't have a good argument.
Friggin' right before we start, I looked at Instagram. Friggin' Horseface Sarah Jessica Parker was posting all over about, there's a bookstore in Florida for banned books and you can only buy. I'm like, cool, well, I'm in Florida. Can you tell me give me one name perhaps of where books are banned or which books I'm not allowed to buy in the state? I would love to know, just one.
Yeah. By the way, they're not banned if you can go to that bookstore and buy them.
I know!
Weird, huh? Weird.
These people, their words just mean nothing because what's happening in terms of that, at least, are certain school libraries and stuff saying very rightly, this particular book is not appropriate. Mm-hmm. And every single person, they can pretend that they don't, but every single person would agree with that to a certain extent. Because there has to be some discretion. Would you just give a Hustler magazine to kids and say, here, take this? If the answer is no, well, if the answer is yes, then you're psychotic, which a lot of them are. But if the answer is no, then you agree with this thing that you're calling book banning.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on the man in a dress.
That's my point, too. They're ridiculous. It's like they try to say books are being banned they're not being banned. They're being inappropriate, sexually inappropriate books are being taken out of children's school libraries, from schools for children, from their libraries. Hustler, to your point, Hustler and Playboy are not in those children's school libraries. Should they be? No. Are they banned? No, they're just not in children's school libraries. And these books, most of the normies who repeat this lie have never looked at these books. And if I've sat down with a few of them in real life where it's like, I show them, pictures, images from the books. What do you think about this? They're like, that's awful. That shouldn't be in a kid's library. I'm like, thank you. That's all people are trying to do is remove the sexually inappropriate material. What they
never want to see it when they're confronted with the actual pages. They never want to see it. Every single time at these school board meetings and stuff like that, whenever somebody tries to show the actual thing, they'll bleep them, they'll cut their mic, they'll say that's inappropriate. Oh, that's inappropriate for adults, but it's perfectly fine for the kids.
Yeah, it proves the point.
And let me say, by the way, I feel like I should mention, I am the last person on planet Earth who ever would have thought that I would be one of these people talking about like, oh, the children. I didn't give a shit about the children. That is how psychotic things have gotten. That is how far it has gone. That you have people like me who never would have thought that now it's too far for people who never would have cared before.
Well, also, haven't you said that, if you had grown up, if you were a kid right now, you might be one of these kids who was getting ushered into mutilating your body.
100%. 100%. It's funny because I always say, like, they have the most narrow-minded view of anyone out there, that they think if a boy doesn't conform to what's decided that's expected of them, they're not a real boy. They're some sort of trans. They're a they, them. If a girl likes sports, their ideology is the most superficial one imaginable.
Yeah. It's very pretty rigid when it comes to gender norms, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And like, if I had kids 10 years ago, like if I had a son 10 years ago and he was like, oh, I want to wear a dress, I would have been like, cool, you do you. If I had a son today, it said over my dead body, because you know the path that kid is being put on. You know it didn't come from them, and you know that the path that they are being put on for gender confusion, for hormones, for surgeries, over my dead body.
Yeah. I think that's wise. Okay, let's finish this cringe fake punk video. Okay, so I just let me finish the text. We wrote and named this song after one of the governors of Tennessee at a time when the state tried to ban drag shows. They didn't try to ban drag shows, by the way. And then it says, oh, I think that's it. Okay, let's watch the rest of the crappy song.
From the flag of the USA, you're too fucking old. You do as you're told. You base your life off an ancient scroll. I'm their
Oh, it's so edgy. They're insulting Christians.
This is the cutting edge of 1998.
You base your life on an ancient scroll. Well,
Keri, they are so edgy, they cut the crusts off their sandwiches. There are no edges here.
I'll tell you what, basing your life off a quote, ancient scroll is a lot better than basing it off of some queer theory that was written in the past 100 years that says it wants to abolish all age norms.
Well, but it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with it. There are atheists who are against this. I'm not the most biblically religious person, and it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with basic right and wrong.
Yeah. Well, just like they don't acknowledge based gays, they also don't acknowledge that there are based atheists. I mean, no. Even Mr. James Lindsay, who we were talking about earlier, based atheists, like they want to pretend that, again, like they pretend that all gay people agree with them, all black people agree with them, all women agree with them, all trans people agree with them. That's all lies. And they also want to pretend that anybody who doesn't agree with them is a straight white Christian man. It's like lies. Okay, let's finish.
Out there burning waste, filling up the ditches. Tell me, can I still be saved? Put a bullet in a kid's head.
He is so not cute.
No. And he thinks he's so badass.
Oh, David Bowie is rolling in his grave.
It also just, take out his ideological message. The sound of the song itself is it sounds like a computer. It sounds like AI music to me.
It probably was.
It doesn't sound original.
It's so fun. It's so funny though, because it's part of kind of a larger thing that, as much as I love the 2000s kind of pop punk music, it really was kind of a way to placate the youth. It was a corporate image of rebelliousness without having to actually do anything rebellious.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all of it, but no wonder that many of those people grew up to be this.
Right. And so many of the musicians just rolled over and went right along with big pharma and government and just totally corporate establishment shills in the past few years. And you're like, wow, okay, you're not anti-establishment at all.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid going to see Blink-182 and he had a sticker on his guitar, John Kerry for president.
Lame.
How
Okay.
I mean, I love them, but...
Okay, I've got another clip I want to show. Now, I think you're going to love this one, and I just want to get your thoughts on it. And also, for any normies who don't know, this is Kitty Demure.
Yay!
And
go Kitty.
We're going to get Mikey's take on this. Here we go.
I have no idea why you want drag queens to read books to your children. I have no idea. What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect for them and admire them so much, other than put on makeup and jump on the floor and writhe around and do sexual things?
They are quite good at that. I'll give them credit where it's due.
You would.
They're very good at that, right? Let's get the kindergartners in here to see this.
Want that to influence your child. Would you want a stripper or a porn star to influence your child?
All the woke white women parents at home, like,
they're probably like, yeah, sure. Sex work is real work.
Yeah, they probably take their kids to pole dancing classes that they all do when they're 50. I know so many woke white ladies who, when they hit 50, they start taking pole dancing classes.
Because they have nothing else. That's how they get their jollies. They got nothing else. Ain't nothing else coming between those legs except the pole.
Where they're like, I'm still a sexual being. It's very Madonna.
Oh.
It's very Madonna. Okay.
It makes no sense at all. A drag queen performs in a nightclub for adults. There is a lot of filth that goes on, a lot of sexual stuff that goes on. And backstage, there's a lot of nudity, sex, and drugs. Okay? So I don't think that this is an avenue you would want your child to explore. They could explore dressing up at home like we all did, like all gay boys did. We all dressed at home and we had a great time. We had a great time with our girlfriends, putting on makeup, trying on clothes, things like that. But to actually get them involved in drag is extremely, extremely irresponsible on your part. And I understand you might want to look like you're with it, that you're cool, that you're woke.
That's all it's about.
That you're not a Nazi, that you're not a homophobe, whatever it may be. But you can raise your child to be just a normal, regular, everyday child without including them in gay, sexual things. And honestly, you're not doing the gay community any favors. In fact, you're hurting us, okay? We have already had a reputation of being pedophiles and being perverts and deviants. We don't need you to bring your children around. So you keep your kids at home or take them to Disneyland or take them to Chuck E. Cheese. But if you need your child to be entertained by a big human in a costume or in makeup, take them to the circus or something. When they turn 18, then why don't you take them to the clubs on their 18th birthday? Because it's an adult thing, okay? So don't ruin your child's life and don't ruin us, because that's what you're doing.
Love it.
Go Kitty. I love him.
That was awesome.
Well, let me give you another side of this too that I never hear anyone talk about because it's wrong for so many reasons. So forget all the obvious ones. Forget that it's being used as a delivery system for queer theory and to brainwash kids and put them on a path of gender confusion. Let's put that all aside for a moment. What is drag? It is a parody of women. It is mocking women. And for adults, that's fine. We can all stand to laugh at ourselves. We can laugh at men. We can laugh at women. That's fine. But why is that the message that should be sent to young girls?
Yes.
To have them in a classroom to be mocked
Yes.
by adults. Like, that's kind of sick on top of everything else.
It's a parody of women. It's comedy. It's body comedy, though. It is sexualized. And I think Keri Demure is right. There is no context in which I think drag is okay for children. Like, you wait till they're adults. You don't take them to the strip club for a reason. You don't have stripper story hour for a reason. Although I'm sure
they probably don't give them ideas, Keri.
Yeah, they'd probably go right along with it for the same. Sex work is real work. I support. Did you see the new pride flag with they added the new crazy pride flag? They added a red umbrella for sex workers.
This is why people talk about gatekeeping like it's a bad thing. I'm like, no, we need more of it. People talk about stigmas. People talk about getting rid of stigmas. What are stigmas? Stigmas are a form of self-defense that protect us against things that are bad for us. More stigmas. I am pro stigma.
Let me pull up this flag for you. I don't know. I haven't covered this flag yet on the show. I did post about it because it's just so crazy. Have you seen it? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I do, but I've tried to block it out. You never let me block these things out, Keri.
There are so many updates. Okay, so I don't even call this the pride flag anymore. This has nothing to do with gays or pride it does have a lot to do with pride, but this is just a communist douchebag flag. That's what I'm calling it now. Here we go. This one, okay. Have you seen this?
I don't know. What is that?
Let me just tell you what they say. Yeah, the psychotic flag. Thank you, Frying Pants. Yes. This is just you can call it the narcissist flag, the psychopath flag, the communist douchebag flag, whatever. It is. They are trying to use. They've been using gay people for a while, like they use women, like they use black people. And now they're adding all these other things that have nothing to do with gay on here anyway. So you've got here on the left, you've got the pink and blue chevron, and that is for trans. Let me read this to you. This flag is comprised of many different symbols present within the LGBTIQ plus community. From left to right, the multicolored chevron has the colors of the trans flag. That's the pink and blue. White represents people transitioning, gender neutral people, gender nonconforming, and non-binary people. Pink represents femininity, and blue represents masculinity. The chevron also includes brown and black stripes. These stripes represent both people of color, and the black stripe also has an additional meaning representing those who are living with HIV and
what? Why?
Why are black
people don't even get their own stripe? It's like it's for the blacks and the people with AIDS.
The people with AIDS. The purple circle is surrounded by one yellow circle on its outer side and one on its inner side, representing the intersex community. These are people, so-called intersex, people who are born with genetic abnormalities and who have sometimes they get called intersex, but this is a fraction of a percent of people in the world. They're on here too, intersex people. And then it says intersex people can be of any gender, race, sexuality, or other identity. Oh, because it wraps around the chevron showing that intersex people can be of any gender, race, sexuality, or any other identity. The circle is unbroken and unornamented, symbolizing wholeness and completeness.
Oh yeah, don't these people seem whole and complete to you?
They're totally,
picture of fucking sanity.
Totally mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Also represents the potentialities of intersex people. The colors purple and yellow are used since none of them can be representative in the traditional sense of the gender binary. The red umbrella has an 8-part canopy. 2 of which are completely covered by chevron, while the 2 parts are located directly opposite and completely covered are not colored red. The umbrella itself represents sex workers, and it's also placed to represent those activists who were or still are sex workers. The pink triangle represents those of the LGBTIQ whatever plus community who were lost throughout history due to hate crimes. That's the little pink section of the umbrella. Due to
I
hate.
would rather be hate crimes than have to look at this.
This is a hate crime.
Yeah.
Or who were lost throughout history due to anti-LGBTIQ plus laws and the plethora of other anti-LGBTIQ plus activities, including the Holocaust. Below,
including the Holocaust? No. You bitches do not get to take the Holocaust. No.
Oh, they say that the Holocaust was about trans people. That's what they're saying now. I'm not kidding. I can show you some of that later. It's crazy. Okay.
There's nothing you could tell me that these people do that would surprise me.
Okay, below that, below pink, you see this little part here. It's like gold, silver, bronze. Okay, it says below is the flag of the rights of persons with disabilities. This is a tricolor flag. The colors on it are gold, silver, and bronze, representative of the medals awarded at the Paralympic Games.
Now we got the Special Olympics up in here.
You got the Special Olympics. These colors also represent the collective's overcoming of obstacles. Behind the chevron, the ring, and the umbrella, there is a 9-stripe pride flag. From top to bottom, the colors and their meanings are lavender, symbolizing diversity, pink for sex, red for love, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, turquoise for magic, indigo for serenity, and purple for spirit. This is the new, welcome to the new 2024 douchebag flag.
They're running out of flag. There's going to be no more flag real estate left.
Where are you on this flag?
Nowhere. I'm off the screen a mile away. There is a mic-shaped hole in the wall.
This is truly one of, it's beyond parody.
I think it was Blair that said, this is how you know that the alphabet has nothing to do with gay people anymore, because gay people never would have designed something so gaudy.
So ugly. Oh,
I can't with these people. I can't.
Have you...
See, those are, I feel like it's a different demographic, this stuff versus the stuff with kids. With this, it's crazy people. It's mentally ill people. With the stuff happening with kids, and by the way, this is why I completely support laws banning, child drag shows or transitioning kids or whatever. That's not going to do it though, because look at all of these things. The problem really is middle-aged white liberal white chicks. That's the problem. They are the ones voluntarily taking these kids. The problem is liberal white chicks. They are the ones taking their kids to it. Let me break it down for you. I'll tell you the cause of everything. You have these women, these middle-aged liberal women. They are very bored. They are very unhappy. They're not getting laid. Their husbands aren't banging them. The husbands are all taking off with the secretary every weekend, and they have to get their jollies somehow. So, let me have a trans kid. That's very exotic. And they're miserable and they're not getting laid. And so we all have to suffer because of it. But transing your kid is not going to make your husband sexually attracted to you, Susan. It just isn't. It's the same. It's exactly what you said. It is the same types of middle-aged women who sign up for pole dancing classes because that's the only pole that's coming between their legs. And so my point of that, though, we have to...
I promise the chat is going to get spicy today. If you're not familiar with Mr. Harlow, ladies and gentlemen, wait, this way. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harlow.
I made Keri leave.
Oh.
My point of that, I had a point, I promise. My point was, hey, Keri.
My camera got unplugged during my Italian gesturing. Keep going.
Yes. Italian gesturing must be done with caution, always. My point of that was we can change all the laws we'd like, but that ain't going to do it. The God that these people worship is social pressure. So we need to make this as uncool and unpopular as is humanly possible. We need to point at these people and laugh and remind them that they are just bored, unloved, unlaid, middle-aged broads. And you'll see how quickly it'll change once the social pressure is no longer on their side.
Why do you
Italian.
Why do you think women, I'm getting my camera hooked up again, guys, sorry. Why do you think women in particular, and let's be more specific, because I do agree with you, the demographic that seems to be most susceptible to woke is white women. Why do you think they're more susceptible than other demographics to this ideology?
They're miserable. They're unhappy. Like I said, they're not getting any. That's why they have these miserable, loveless relationships and they have nothing else. And also, well, another thing too, because of the progressive stack, the left's hierarchy of identity, it's the way to sort of get yourself into it, that you can't be by birth. You can't make yourself black. You can't make yourself any of these things, but you can have, and you know, trans is at the top of the hierarchy. So what is better than, ooh, I have a trans child? It's like luxury beliefs. It's a status symbol to these sick people.
It is. I see these women on Facebook, that are in a lot of these groups that are for so-called trans parents. And first of all, the groups function like a cult. They pile on and shame and kick out any parents who don't go along with the orthodoxy. As soon as they get in there, they have to follow the rules. You know, if they say, my son is telling me he's a girl, they're like, don't say he, you know, and they'll kick them out. And so in these groups, though, if you look at it's mostly entirely women. Usually the dad is not in the picture, or if he is, he's completely cucked by this controlling woman, or he's absent or something. And then if you look at the women's profiles, their whole profile, their whole identity is wrapped up in being the mom of a so-called trans kid. It's all like the profile picture, the cover picture, everything is like trans kid, I'm the mom of a trans kid.
Well, and then it's not just women either, because then you have these men who just tuck their balls between their legs and go along with it and nod their heads, yes, dear. And they're worse.
Yeah. Mikey, I have to do some troubleshooting.
Troubleshoot.
First of all, is my microphone better? I think my microphone was also affected. I hope it's better now.
I think it sounds the same. It sounds good.
Okay. And I have to do some troubleshooting on.
I guess she's troubleshooting.
Can you reach out?
Yes. I should warn you guys, I'm a little bit blind. So I'm just ignore my face right now. So I'm going to have to like squint and look intently. But yes, do your troubleshooting. I will talk to the chat. Where was Ruby's comment? Because Ruby said something very astute. I have to find it. Here we go. Women are more likely to buy into weird stuff like crystals and astrology. That is so true. And this is the ultimate one, because they're being shown that this is how you get attention and validation. You troubleshooted.
I got it. Thank you.
You troubleshot? Troubleshot.
I troubleshot.
I don't want to be like the man in a dress misspelling governor.
I troubleshat. There you go.
Troubleshat.
Oh, I've got
Munchausen by proxy, Transhausen by proxy.
I don't know if you can see these, so let me read a couple of these super chats. Finest City Cycling for $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hi, Keri, have you ever heard of the novelist Devin Erickson? He has greatest views on art and pop culture that overlap with your views. I have not. I'm going to make a note. Thank you, Devin Erickson. Thank you so much. Do you want to read one?
Yeah. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine is still the biggest sellout. Oh, don't even. Rage on behalf of the machine.
Thank you so much, John, for the super chat. Elsa Barrett for $10. They're going to keep changing that flag until eventually it forms a swastika.
It already does. It already does. Have you guys seen that? If you put 4 of the flags together, it's a swastika.
I have seen that. That's the thing, is this new flag is getting so crazy that all the parodies I've seen are kind of like, they're not even as crazy as the real flag.
No, that's why. So, maybe like last year or something, I was doing a bunch of parody videos and I've been trying to come up with more of them, but I'm kind of struggling because I feel like, what could you come up with that's crazier than these people? Parody
is really hard to do now. Let's just put it that way. Thank you, Elsa Barrett, for the super chat. John, again, thank you for the very generous super chat for $50. Thank you, sir. Says, hear me out, please. Stripper storyline could be a good thing.
I love this. I love this idea.
By the way, John, can I just say, anytime my husband and I have this running joke because we're renovating this old house, as some of you guys know, and whenever we have a difference of opinion about some upcoming project, if we do have a difference of opinion about the color or painting something or whatever, he noticed correctly that anytime I'm pitching something I think he's not going to like, I'm like, okay, hear me out. And he's like, what? What's this going to be? Hear me out. Hear me out. Stripper storyline could be a good thing. Kind of like how Scared Straight was. Kids, this is Cinnamon. She lives here. She lives in her car and has a stranger throw dollar bills at her on a stage to Def Leppard music playing. Is that what you want?
That is, I think you found my next video for me. That is genius. They want
so much, John.
When I was a little kid, maybe like second grade or something, they took us to Rikers Island to be like that, literally next to like murderers, instead like sitting in a cell with murderers. This guy talking about like how he stabbed the people he stabbed, and then the warden had Polaroid pictures all over his office of bloody people, and he's like, "Yeah, these are all the people I stabbed." They should do that.
And it stuck with you. I think you froze. You froze on my end anyway. Is Mikey frozen for anyone else, or is it just me? Here, let me remove. You guys tell me in the chat if he's, oh yeah, Dion says he's frozen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Mike, if you can hear, maybe try leaving and coming back to the backstage area. And I'll read a few more of these. Oh no, Mike. You guys, we're getting hit with technical issues today. Frozen like Elsa. There you are. You're back.
Hey, sorry, my internet sometimes. Oh, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. You were talking, but your mouth wasn't moving.
Second, I will correct this. Oh, it's corrected. Wait.
You tell me when to add you back. You're muted now. Unmute.
There.
How about now? Yay, we did it.
Sometimes cut out for a sec.
Oh man, they got him. They got him. This is Dion.
But yeah, they should start doing that again. Take kids to Rikers Island. That was
they, instead of doing Kids Scared Straight, like they're basically showing them all these horrible outcomes and presenting it like it's a good thing.
That's so true.
And then we've got a super chat for $5 from Tracy for Keto and Cry. Do you want to read this one?
Yo, what? Yo, what? Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yes. You better be, if you're not going to be in my area, you better come to my area. I will text you after this. Mike, I have to have drinks with you next month. I'll be in Florida for 3 weeks. Woo-hoo. We better be getting all of the drinks. We better be going on adventures. We better be doing like, oh my God. We're going to have plans, Tracy. I'm so excited.
So tell us a little bit about, one more from Chasso, Chaos Smash 64 for $2. Thank you. Says, ladies and gentlemen, Mike the Scruff Master.
Oh, thanks, Chaos.
Thank you very much. So you haven't been on Deprogrammed since you moved. So tell me what it's like being in Florida, escaping New York.
It is amazing. It is the best thing I have ever done. I am so happy. Oh my God. Did you know, anybody watching this, if you live in a place like New York or LA or Chicago or wherever, let me let you in on something that nobody ever tells you, that you might not realize, that I did not realize for my entire life. Life does not have to be that way. Did you know that? I never knew that. So it's amazing. It is amazing. I never thought I would actually get here. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And it's like,
what does freedom feel like? Says good night, Mr. Thompson.
Like a giant hug. It is so, and to go outside and not everybody is in masks and looking down and miserable. Because that's really the thing that's worse about me. And let me say, I'm originally from the city. I thought I would always live there. I used to love it so much. It's the things that have destroyed it are not even the things that you would think, like the crime or homeless. It's not even that. It's a demeanor. It's everybody there is just miserable and unhappy. There's no energy left in the city. Everyone looks down. Everyone avoids each other. It's horrible. Here, people are actually enjoying their lives.
I feel you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so
what's
happy
funny,
you
by the
finally
way?
did it.
It's funny. So the other night I was watching this. There's this show called Cabinet of Curiosities. It's some like horror anthology show. And I hadn't seen it. So I was going to start watching it the other night. And I'm in bed and I had a total flashback that I remembered. This show came out Halloween before last, around that time. We were in Orlando together for Chrissy. And I was in bed at night when we were in Florida, and I was about to watch that show in bed. And I didn't end up watching it because I was so depressed, that I was so miserable, that I had lost my job. I was dead broke. And just feeling like I'm never going to be able to actually move here. And I didn't end up watching it because I was just so miserable and went to bed. And it occurred to me the other night, I'm like, hey, I'm finally about to watch this show. And I live here now. And I freaking did it.
And your life is so different.
And so much better.
I'm just really happy you took the plunge. And I do know what you mean, because I lived in Los Angeles for 15 years. Now, it's not exactly the same as New York, but there's definitely more of a suffocating sense of desperation and narcissism, and just how did my friend describe it? It was something about a crushing sense of desperation and thirstiness, and just people hustling to be famous, and people lost in ideology, and people not living, I don't know, authentically. And now that you can find that anywhere, and I'm not saying you can't live authentically in LA. I have some very good friends who are some of the most authentic people I know who still live in LA. But I'm saying as a city, like the feeling when you're out and about is just different. And I have one of those friends from Los Angeles who's considering moving to Texas. And I was just saying, like, look, it's night and day difference for me. Now, I don't live in Austin. If I lived in Austin, I can't live there. It's too much like Los Angeles. And I was trying to get away from LA. But I live in real Texas. And when you go out, people are friendly. They're more concerned about like their real lives than they are with ideology. People are more willing to talk to those who disagree with them. Even the leftists here are different than the ones in LA. And again, with the exception of Austin. And so I love it that you're in a place of freedom, that you're in one of the freedom states now. And I can't wait for you to get permanent roots there, and see your next steps.
You know what I realized the other night is that one of the many things that always scared me about leaving New York was this ridiculous thought of, oh my God, but you won't be able to go to a store at 2 a.m. As if you should need to, like, who cares? But that always weighed on me. Oh my God, what if you need to go to a store in the middle of the night? And I realized the other night, I'm like, you know what? That just goes to show how I feel like cities like New York or Los Angeles are about places. Places like Florida and Texas are about people. You don't need to go to the store at 2 a.m. You'll be with people. You'll be with friends. You'll be with family. It's more about people, whereas cities are more about going to places, and people are seen as more disposable there.
Yes. I would just like to say, even though I live in the middle of nowhere in Texas, it's only about 30 minutes for me to get to a Buc-ee's at 2:45 in the morning if I need to. They're open 24 hours.
I haven't needed to since I've been here. Like, I got over that.
If you
just
need
get
to.
stuff at Publix earlier in the day.
Yeah.
But it's so amazing here.
Oh, Bright Space Babe. 100% Texas is legit amazing. Howdy from Maynard. I know Maynard.
Where's Maynard? Oh, Texas?
Yeah. Good to see you. And then D-Sub also says, yes, I always say get out of the big Texas cities and see the real Texas. Yeah, and Texas is so big. There's so much to see. Yay, Amy, 2 sisters and some yarn.
Hey!
Yay, I made it. Okay, what should we finish up with, do you want me to show this other clip of you arguing with the bottle?
That guy was nuts with the bottle. Sure.
This is a good one.
So this was at they had like a demonstration against drag story hour at the New York Public Library.
Base gay versus the gender cult.
If there was a thing that said it's not okay to be cis,
Wait, let me just refresh this.
saying this is drag story hour is convincing people
Right.
to cut off their
Absolutely.
genitals.
You think it's appropriate? You can look, there's a picture right there. You think it's appropriate for grown men to go in front of children with signs on their chest saying, "I don't want to look or be cis," and that's the message that's being sent to toddlers.
To toddlers. So, but wait. So first
You
off,
know, if you repeat something in a smug way, it's still true.
okay. So if there was
Toddlers,
a thing
yes.
that said it's not okay to be cis, and I brought. Well, first of all, this is voluntary. So
It's not voluntary when it's in schools.
this is not voluntary.
No, this is voluntary.
Everyone-
It is not voluntary.
Attendance at drag story
This
hour is
is
not
voluntary for the third time. It is not voluntary when they have these programs in schools.
okay. But this
And
one's
you
voluntary.
have multiple children who were pushed into this as they get a little bit older. Somebody like Layla Jane, who's now suing because they removed her breasts at 13 years old. Do you think that's okay to do to a 13-year-old child?
It shouldn't be a capricious decision.
So we agree that that's wrong.
When someone is trans, there's a lot of people working
To
on this.
remove the breasts of a 13-year-old child.
How long have they been trans? When did
To remove the breasts of a 13-year-old child. And you can't say that that's a bad thing? What is wrong with you?
Wait, but what's wrong with drag?
He wouldn't answer it. Like, I'm sorry, if you can't say that it's a bad thing to give an elective double mastectomy to a 13-year-old, like we just do not exist in the same reality. It's not a difference of opinion, it's different realities.
Right. They will. This is why I think they'll go along with whatever the next stage of this evil is about getting rid of consent laws for kids and in regards to sex. And I think they're going to go right along with it because they're so lost in this evil ideology. They're not present. They're animated by the ideology. As Jordan Peterson says, they're possessed by the ideology. So they can't think rationally. They don't have any connection to rationality or morality or anything. They're just plugged into ideology and whatever the ideology says. So if the ideology in 10 years is saying, let's get rid of age of consent laws for kids, they'll be like, sure, yeah. They'll go right along with it because they go along with this crap.
Well, but it's not even that we're making a big jump to get there. It's exactly in line with their ideology. If you believe that kids can consent to removing body parts, why can't they consent to that? And there are all of these things. Just look, it's all over the internet that they'll talk about, oh, this beautiful openly gay 5-year-old, openly gay 6-year-old, 7-year-old. So if a child, I'm like, he's not gay, he is not straight, he's a child. And so if you believe that a child can have a sexual orientation, why would you not believe that they can be having sex? There's no jump to be made. It's what they are saying. They're just a little more quiet about this one part at the moment. Give it 6 months to a year, and I guarantee you they'll be. Then they're less quiet now than they've ever been before.
Yeah. I've got one more for you. Now, I didn't send you this one ahead of time because I wanted to just I didn't want you to watch it ahead of time. I want to get your real-time reactions to this. This is a YouTube video called "I'm Becoming a Genderless Monster." We can pause it now with commentary here. Her name is Jasmine Bean. Of course, she doesn't go by she, but it is a girl.
I doubt that's her baptismal name.
Here we go.
I don't mind people being scared of me. I actually enjoy it. It's just like funny because under this, I'm literally just like a 5'3" human.
Yeah. Okay. So
look how hooked on the look. Like, see, okay, years ago, this would have been about like, ooh, hooked on the look, and it would have been like models on a runway, and now it's this.
Now it's this. This is what they're showing to kids, and kids are like, ooh. You should see the comments. Kids love it. They're like, I wanted to get this look. I mean, they're pushing this on children, and the reason I'm showing this, I have a lot of thoughts about this, and they're varied. They're not all one. It's not all one thing. I feel sorry for this girl. I think this girl needs help, but also this girl's saying things that don't make sense, and we're about to watch part of this where,
gee, I'm floored.
She's saying things about how she doesn't like attention. Okay, let's continue.
Especially looking like this.
There's a lot of
it's strange.
It's a lot of loud reactions looking like this. She said it's strange.
I'm Jasmine Bean, and I'm into post-human, creepy, and Japanese fashion.
Post-human. Did you hear that? Post-human.
Post-human.
A lot of people feel like people that dress like this are wasting their body, but I feel that I'm wasting my body by not doing this.
She got some floppy titties.
I'd like to say my inspiration is a bit of like fantasy, fairies, and cool little like creatures, like mythological. This spider, I wore it to like this con, and I was like carrying the spider around like that as if it was like my pet. Binder, just to is just like when.
Okay, I want to skip ahead to this part because this is where she's talking about she's saving up money to get her breasts removed, and she wants the gender nullification surgery. Now, if you haven't heard of what that is, this is the new thing that they're doing. There was evidence of this in the WPATH files, where the doctors they're not operating by the Hippocratic Oath at all. They're experimenting on these kids, and they're doing this new thing where they're just try this, see what works. And they're in the WPATH files just talking back and forth like, well, I tried doing this. Nullification is where they take the breasts off. They don't put the nipples back, so you look like an alien, like a Ken doll. They're also doing these new experimental surgeries where they give the kids both sex organs. So they create a skin tube and create a fake penis that they leave the vagina. Or they get rid of both, like they just close up the vagina and don't add a fake, and then they're nullifying down there. That's what she wants, nullification. Yes, where they're like, let's hysterectomy, whatever, and let's nothing. Yeah,
like not open sesame, closed sesame.
Like,
well, I've seen they do it to guys that they get like nothing. It's like a stump. It's like a Barbie doll.
That's what they want. That's what they this is the new cool thing the kids
I
are trying
found
out
out about this, by the way, for the first time. This was maybe like a year ago or so. While I was on a podcast and he was telling me about it, and I didn't believe him, and he brought it all up with pictures.
Yeah.
This shit causes me like actual physical pain.
Look at David.
I'm like, no closed sesame for me. Sorry, David, I cut you off.
That's okay. David says, what files are this? The WPATH files. It's the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. If you want to, I did a series of, I think, 4 videos on the files when they came out, but you can just do a search for WPATH files and you can read it all yourself. In those files, there are doctors who actually perform these mutilating surgeries who are on camera admitting that these children, they talk about children as young as 9, 11, 13, stuff like this. They said these kids do not understand what they're consenting to. They even make jokes about it in the videos. They say stuff like, you're trying to talk to a 9-year-old about if they want to have kids one day or not. Like they don't know what they're consenting to when they say, I consent to possibly being sterilized, right? They also have the president of WPATH, Marcy Bowers, on camera admitting that puberty blockers are not reversible, that in 100% of cases where they've given puberty blockers to age 11 boys, like boys in Tanner Stage 2, that none of those boys are ever, 100% of those boys are not able to achieve orgasm in adulthood. So they know it's chemically castrating little boys. And Marcy's on camera saying this. I absolutely encourage you to read the WPATH files, watch the videos, watch these doctors in their own words. And in those files, they talk about the gender nullification surgery. Okay, let me just play a little bit more. I want you to see what she says here, because she says she wants to get
what happened to the Hippocratic Oath? Because this seems like it seems like might be doing a little harm. Just a little. Just a little harm, a small harm, minor harm, a bit of harm.
she says she wants to get gender nullification surgery so that she can be completely nothing. And then just think about that phrase. Here, let me play this for you.
A nullification is just like when you have no sexual organs, or at least that you can see. Right now I'm wearing a binder just to give off more of like the like alien genderless look. I'd like to wear it more on my off days, but it does get quite damaging for your ribs. One day, hopefully I'll have surgery just to be like completely like nothing.
And nobody will question that. Nobody will question that. You don't need surgery, bitch. You need a damn psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And nobody will question that and say, you want to be nothing. Maybe you got some mental problems.
Yeah. It's like a person screaming out for help. But the thing is, if there's someone in her life who were, and maybe there's not, but if there were someone who were to say, I want to talk about, it seems like something's wrong, like this is concerning, they would be called a phobe. They would not.
Phobe.
Yeah. Okay, then this part right here. Yes, Nunya, you nailed it. She wants attention for not wanting attention.
That's what I was going to say too, is like, you say something against this or whatever, they're like, you're transphobic. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with I'll be transphobic then. Okay.
Okay, this part right here where she talks about not wanting attention. Let me skip ahead. Here we go.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
Why does she have a cage?
She's got chinchillas.
Nope. Come on. There you are.
Also, her room's kind of cluttered, but that's okay.
Like, go and leave the house and do stuff, but people are very mean. And obviously, I'm just trying to go and do my thing. I don't really want all the attention.
Yeah.
Doesn't want the attention. Just a delicate little wallflower.
Right. None of this is for attention, right? Right. Like if you do all of that.
Let me tell you also how brainwashed people are when it comes to social pressure is that years ago when I was still a liberal, I had one conservative friend, and it was sort of as the time my views were starting to change, and he was like the only conservative I knew. And then we lost touch eventually, but maybe like a year ago when I first discovered the nullification, I posted something about the nullification surgery. He got pissed he saw it and got pissed at me and called me far right for being against this
nullification surgery.
That is how brainwashed people are. That is how, and that was someone who used to be conservative.
Yeah.
That's how far things have gotten and how people pretend to just go along with the current thing.
It's sad. I think so many people have given up. They've put their own brain in a cage. They don't think for themselves. They're just like, well, okay, whatever absurdity the tribe says, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Way, and he said to me, I'm sorry. He said to me, he was like, oh, come on, Mikey. Why can't you just let people do what they want? She can do what she wants. Why can't you let me do what I want, which is to roast the shit out of these bitches? But I don't agree with that. Just let people do whatever they want. It's like, how do cities get destroyed? You throw some trash on the ground, and then you throw more, and you throw more, and you throw more, and eventually it's just covered in trash. And that is what is happening to culture.
Yes. B. Allen says her makeup has nothing to do with gender. It's for attention only. Yeah, and I just want to make something clear. I think her makeup's very artistic. I like some creepy. I like stuff that mixes goth with something beautiful. Like I like that kind of stuff aesthetically. But just as like it's the identity part of it where she's viewing this. It's not just makeup for a party or something. It's her identity. This is who I am, is this made up freak. And the fact that she's like, I'm going to get this surgery so I can be nothing, gender. That's what's concerning to me.
That's literally what I was going to say. If it wasn't attached to all the ideological shit, I would think it's great. I would be like, let's be friends.
Right. Like if you came over to my house for a Halloween party looking like that, I'd be like, here's your award. You're the winner. Like, you did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jid. It's good for a con, not daily. Yeah, she goes out daily like that and then has the nerve to complain and be like, I don't know why I can't just go to McDonald's like this without people staring. I don't want attention. Like, give me a break.
Get a damn sweater vest if you don't want attention. Jesus.
Yeah, Chaos Smash says, yeah, she has a camera on her. I don't want all this attention. Yes, I'll do an interview.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to show you this. Lavender Rose Loves Women says, I am loving Mike's reactions.
Thanks, Lavender. Yeah, I kind of can't control my face.
I love that you can't. I love some of your reactions to video. That's why I wanted to pull up a lot of stuff to show you. Mikey.
I can't with these people. What was that called, by the way? The WPATH files?
Yes, the WPATH files, the World Professional Association of Trans Health. Yes, so Michael Schellenberger and Mia Hughes put out the files, these two journalists who put it all out, and it's all records, like written records, texts, emails, and videos of the doctors at WPATH who and doctors and others who push this ideology. And you can see them in videos that they thought were going to be private, saying very different things than what they say publicly. Like publicly, they push this lie that puberty blockers are reversible. In fact, you see these brainwashed normie people on the street, moms and people who have never looked at the research, and they just parrot that. They have no idea. Some of them, that's not true, and they're just like, dude, puberty blockers are reversible. It's like, dude, the president of WPATH is on camera saying they're not. So stop with the lies.
I'm just glad people are starting to see that for themselves.
Yeah. Mikey, what's next?
Sick.
What's next on our agenda?
A shower. No, a shower after seeing all of this. But sorry, no, tell me, baby.
I wanted to see. Let me see if there's another crazy gender one we can do. Oh wait, I know. Hold on.
Did you see? I think I might do a video. I haven't made a video in a very long time, so I'm going to try to get back into doing more. But there was this one who looked like Chucky. That was how she doesn't want any labels, and then it's followed, of course, by a litany of labels.
Oh, let's put that one up. You're gonna parody.
That's on my Twitter. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'm just gonna rant.
Okay, I've got it. Here, let's add it. I did see that. Okay.
Hi, my name's Queenie and my pronouns are they, them. When I post about my gender identity and my sexuality, when I say that I don't want any labels, that is not an invitation for you to speculate on who I am or what I am. It's not a guessing game for you to play over whether I'm a girl.
It's not. You are a woman.
What's in my pants, or if I'm
a vagina. Those are breasts. Those are female shoulders.
Or gray romantic or anything else. You don't.
Wait, sorry. Put it back a second. Sorry.
She's like, it's not for you to guess. Yeah, honey, we don't have to guess. We know. We know you're a girl.
Wait, put it back a second. It says you have to hear all the labels.
I don't want any labels.
Or what I am. It's not a guessing game for you to play over whether I'm a girl or a boy about what's in my pants, or if I'm pan or bi or trixic or homoflexible or gray romantic or anything else. You don't need to fully understand the nuances of gender identity or sexuality to know that each person knows who they are better than you ever will. Hi, my name's Queenie and my pronouns are they, them.
Okay, let's break it down. So first of all, what were those labels? Trixic? I don't know what that is.
Oh gosh.
Gray romantic?
Gray romantic is a term that is used to describe people who feel a limited or uncertain romantic attraction to others.
Oh, that was just my last boyfriend.
No, it's a sexuality now. It's a sexuality.
You should have identified as that.
Oh, aren't you the one that told me about you had a friend who's a straight white guy, and because social justice and woke ideology, it privileges you, it lifts you up higher if the more oppressed groups you can say you're part of. And so a bunch of sometimes straight guys, I think they have this social incentive to come out as queer or some other kind of sexuality or trans, so they can be like, I'm in an oppressed group too. Didn't you have a friend who came out as something like air romantic?
Demisexual.
Which
means I had to look it up. Oh, and they have a flag. He painted himself the flag and went to a parade. Fucking straight guy. it means you only sleep with people that you're emotionally invested in. I'm like, so you're a chick. Or, you know, it used to just be known as like being a human being.
But now it's now it's an oppressed sexuality. What does demisexual mean? There you go. There you go. Someone who
It means you're a woman.
Yeah.
What was the other word she said? Homo flexible. See, I thought that was just like the straight guy that I slept with when I was 19 who would say, I'm not gay. That's homo flexible, I think.
I thought that was just a very limber gay man who does yoga.
Oh, I thought it was like I thought it was a gay in denial.
It means you can do a back bend.
What was the other one? Hey, Deb.
The reason we learned Deb is here. I'm special person who is not at all special.
What's trixic?
Oh, let's look that one up. I need to know. She's trixic.
Trixic.
OMG. Look at this. Here we go. Trixic, also known as Orbisian, is a diamoric orientation referring to non-binary individuals who are exclusively or not attracted to women. So a non-binary who likes women.
Straight with extra steps. So you could just be a man who likes a woman and you're this, or a woman who likes a woman. Like, it ain't that deep, folks.
Trixic. There's the flag. They got their own flag,
Sounds
of
like
course.
A cracker.
Oh, look, let's look up.
Finsexual.
Do you know finsexual?
No, what would that sounds like you like fish.
You read this one.
Finsexual is a term for someone who is exclusively attracted to those who are feminine in nature. This can be either in their gender or gender presentation. Someone who identifies as finsexual can experience attraction to any gender presenting femininely. It just sounds like I don't want to get your show taken down. Words I was tempted to use, but I will not. But it just sounds like a big old homo to me.
What's a Bambi
There's
lesbian?
Click.
Tracy, what's a Bambi lesbian? A Bambi lesbian is a term referring to a lesbian who prefers less sexual expressions of love.
Every lesbian! That's every lesbian! What the fuck? That's every lesbian!
They prefer less sexual expressions of love, such as cuddles, kisses, hugs, and other forms of affection over sexual acts. Oh, they prefer cuddles and kisses and hugs over sex.
Let me tell you, you'll never find one of those for gay men. Like the ones who tell you they want to cuddle with you, that ain't what they mean. Vincian?
That's not what they mean. Vincian, not to be confused with gay man. Vincian is a term that has gained multiple definitions and uses since its original coining. Wow, it's been around that long, huh? Wow. Its coining insinuated that it was intended to refer to men attracted to men as a replacement for a Killian. It is still unclear whether it was made as an alternative to a Killian or an alternative
The fuck is a Killian? This is a whole rabbit hole. You have to click on one to understand the other and click on that one. What?
The term has been most commonly used to describe gay men or man-aligned or non-binary individuals due to miscommunications. The term is also sometimes mistaken as being the masculine equivalent of lesbian. However,
get the fuck out of here.
However, Turian is more commonly known as lesbian's counterpart. A Turian is a term for gay men and non-binary individuals. Just stop. We're stopping. There's too many. This is just ridiculous.
There's interpretations.
Lesboy. No, we're done. Okay.
Straight with, I guarantee you that one was straight with extra steps. You're a man who's a lesbian is what it's going to say.
pretty soon you're gonna need an encyclopedia this thick. If you want to be woke and you don't want to misstep or step into a trap, you're gonna have to carry that book around and flip through it and excuse me, let me look through my book of 1,000 sexualities and genders.
Can I tell you the one I'm jealous of? Can I tell you the one, if I could pick one out of all of them, the one that I would pick? I am so jealous of the asexuals. Can you imagine how nice that must be? Let me just tell you guys, Keri would get so few less angsty phone calls from me.
If you were asexual.
Oh, it would be lovely. That would be amazing. You'd have so much time, less stress.
Not romantically interested in a relationship.
That would be amazing.
Well,
if only.
There's last time I looked, there were like 20 different under asexual. They've now come up with 20 different subcategories.
I need to get one of them.
You got to get one.
See, my heart is a whore. So.
This is so stupid. ADL 1992 says, yeah, I've seen that. No one can just be homosexual anymore. They have to be a Killian.
I don't know what that is.
Lavender Rose says, demisexual is just a way to groom teens into prostitutions and indoctrinate them into thinking that they have to have sex that they aren't into. What a great point. Because by saying that, hey, my sexuality is I only have sex with people I love. Well, then they can say that, then they're normalizing the idea that it's normal to have sex with people you don't love and that you should do more of that. I see your point there. I see your point.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point.
Yeah, this is so crazy. Dion, it's all BS. Yeah.
No, you live long enough and you'll become one.
It's good advice.
Let's hope so, if only.
So from TPS for $2, thank you for the super chat. Men started trans and use kids to validate delusion. For the most part, the psychologists and the ones who push this stuff, if you look at the history of it and John Money and all of them, for the most part, yes, it was men, including the president of WPATH, Marcy Bowers, who's actually a man. And for the most part, if you look through that history of all the different organizations that came about in the history of WPATH, it's a lot of male psychologists and deviants who push this stuff. However, it's not that women are blameless, and women are the driving force behind this, what used to be this sort of deviant, belief system. The women, normie women, are the ones who are driving this ideology right now when it comes to pushing it on children. And they're the ones who are just saying, yeah, let's get on board. Let's take kids to Drag Queen Story Hour. Let's put sexually inappropriate books in schools. And it's insane. I say that because sometimes I see a lot of back and forth on Twitter and stuff where I see people arguing about like, which sex is more to blame? And it's like, hey, there's blame to go around, like in the different ways that humans go bad. But yeah, I do agree with that point about the origins of all of this. Yeah.
Well, and it has historically been more men, but now it's mostly young girls that it's getting pushed on as kids, because they're the ones who are most susceptible to it, who don't feel comfortable in their bodies, and they're being told this is a way to feel comfortable in your body. This is a way to make all your problems go away. Validation, acceptance, love. They love bomb them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. My mother-in-law is in town.
Tell her I say hi.
I will. Yeah, she remembered you. And we're gonna go. My husband has some shows, and yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. And I hope you have a great weekend, Mr. Harlow. I hope everyone in the chat has a great weekend. Before you go, can you tell us a little bit about where people can find you, what you got coming up, what you're excited about, anything you want to end on?
Well, you have to come on my show because you haven't been on my channel in too long.
I'll definitely. Let's have fun.
Yeah, let me know. So yeah, I have I'm working on doing it more regularly, but I have a live show I do called Microaggressed. So come join the party. I like to think it's the gutter of the internet, but we have a good time. I'm working on doing more videos. I've sort of been out of it for a while. I was working so hard for a long time, just like saving every penny to move. And now I did. And now I'm first getting settled. So I'm kind of throwing myself back into it now. But I'm going to have some videos coming out. I'm doing one. I wanted to do this last year and I never got around to it. So I have a video series that I'm going to be putting out for the lovely month of June that has now been colonized by the alphabet people.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out my YouTube channel. It's been a little bit barren, but there's more coming. I'm on the Twitter at not Mike Harlow. I'm on the YouTubes. Thank you, Amy. I'm on the YouTubes there.
There's your Twitter, not Mike Harlow. Language English. There you go.
Or, you know, not to be we like to be inclusive, of course, to all our other languages. I can yell at you in Italian if you want.
Teresa's great show, Keri, Mikey. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Therese.
I love this woman so much. She is just everything that you guys think she is. She is all that and then some. I promise you.
Aww. Mikey, I love hanging out with you.
I love you.
Thank you for coming on. Everybody,
Thank
check
you for
out
coming.
Mike Harlow's Microaggress. Check him out on Twitter. I promise you, he's one of the funniest based accounts you will follow, and very spirited, as you saw here today. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Let me just remind you, if we are reading a book relevant to this topic, and we've rescheduled book club, I'm going to post an announcement as well, so I don't miss anyone. So you still have time to join. I just didn't have time to promote it. I blanked on promoting it, and so I didn't want to do it this week. The Queering of the American Child by Logan Lansing and James Lindsay. You have time to read it. We're going to talk about it on Thursday, May 30th. So go get your copy of the book. I promise you won't regret it. And thank you, Mr. Harlow, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I need to read that book. It's been sitting in my Amazon cart for months, so I need to finally read it.
It's great. You should read it.
Also, I just bought this shirt to wear on the show today, and I was told that it makes me look like I'm in the mafia. So I brought my mafia self for you today, Keri.
That shirt is very flattering on you. I agree.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad someone thinks that.
Thank you, Mr. Mike Harlow.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great weekend. If you like the show, consider hitting like or sharing it with someone, especially someone on the fence, especially if you have woke leftist friends who are always talking about what the gays think. Like, hey, you don't speak for gay people. Okay. Share
Send them our way.
Thanks, dude. Take care.